Imagine this. You walk into your home, she's smiling. Dinner's on the table. Everything looks normal, but deep down, something feels off. That gnawing doubt you can't silence. Is she loyal? Or is she betraying you when you're not looking? Most men in your shoes try the obvious tricks. They check her phone, track how long it takes her to text back, maybe even drive past her workplace once or twice. But here's the truth. Those methods almost always fail, because if she's hiding something, she's already 5 steps ahead. Now, before I reveal the one question that slices through every excuse and exposes deception, I want to know who's here with me right now. Do me a favor, hit subscribe, tap like, and then drop a comment below telling me what city you're watching from. I read every single one, and it reminds me just how far this message is reaching men, everywhere from New York to small towns you've never heard of. Men who've carried the same suspicion you feel right now. And trust me, what you're about to hear isn't theory. It isn't guesswork. It's a question so powerful it can end years of doubt in a single moment. Stay with me, because once you hear it, you'll never look at a woman's answer the same way again. And no, the question isn't, do you love me? If you have to ask that, my friend, you're already in deep water. Picture this, scene building, the trap, it's late evening. She's in the shower and you're sitting on the couch staring at her phone on the table. Your heart's pounding. Your palms are sweaty, and a thought eats at you. Should I look? Just for peace of mind. You grab it. Swipe the screen. Nothing. The messages are clean. Too clean, not a trace of anything suspicious. And for a moment you feel relief. Maybe you were overthinking. Maybe you're the problem, but then the doubt creeps back in. Did she delete them? Did she use a different app? Is there a hidden folder? That nothing doesn't feel like an answer. It feels like another question, and that's the trap. See, a cheating woman doesn't need to invent elaborate stories every time. She just needs to plant enough seeds of plausibility, enough to keep you second-guessing yourself. That's how she stays safe. It starts small. A sudden girls' night out that wasn't planned. A work trip that sounds a little too last minute. A text notification that makes her smile, but she brushes it off as just a friend. Each one by itself could mean nothing, but stack them together and they form a pattern that gnaws at you. And here's where it gets clever. She designs these moments so that if you ever challenge her, you look like the paranoid one. You ask about the trip. She says you're controlling. You question the phone lock. She flips it. Why don't you trust me? Suddenly, you're not investigating. You're defending yourself. That's the kicker. Direct accusations almost never work, because the second you corner her, she turns the mirror back on you. She frames your suspicion as insecurity. She makes you the problem, and the worst part, you start believing it. So what do most men do? They double down. They start checking more often, snooping through emails, tracking social media likes, driving by her workplace just to make sure. Every unanswered call feels like a warning sign. Every delay in reply feels like confirmation. But there's the brutal reality. The more you chase proof, the deeper you sink. You stop being the man she once admired, the calm, steady, confident man. And you turn into a detective in your own home. A man obsessed, suspicious, restless, and she sees it. She feels it. And whether she's guilty or not, her respect for you begins to erode. That's the slow poison of the trap. Because in trying to uncover the truth, you lose the very thing that gives you strength as a man, your dignity. And once she stops respecting you, that's when the cracks why common strategies fail show. Why common strategies fail. So let's break this down. Phones. That's the first thing most men run to. You wait until she's in the shower, or you catch her leaving her phone unattended on the counter. You scroll through her texts, her calls, maybe even her emails. But here's what you don't realize. If she's clever enough to cheat, she's clever enough to delete. Every incriminating message is long gone before you even think to look. What you see is a curated version of her life, scrubbed clean to make you doubt your own instincts. And the more spotless it looks, the more unsettled you become. Her friends, forget it. You think one of them is going to slip up and hand you the truth? Not a chance. Women close ranks tighter than soldiers on a battlefield. If she's cheating, her closest friends already know, and they've rehearsed their lines. Ask them about her late nights and they'll smile and say, "Oh, she was with me." You'll never crack that wall. And if you push too hard, you risk looking paranoid, jealous, even insecure. That's the kind of behavior women mock behind closed doors. Body language. Sure, Hollywood sells you the idea that liars look away, fidget, or break eye contact. But in reality, practiced liars can look you dead in the eye with a smile that feels more genuine than the truth. And women, especially those skilled in social games, have been reading and manipulating male emotions since they were teenagers. They know exactly how to steady their breath, soften their voice, and keep their hands still. If you think you can catch them with a twitch or a nervous laugh, you'll spend your night studying shadows that don't exist. And here's the brutal truth. If you keep chasing these surface signs, you'll always be one step behind. Every time you think you've caught her, she'll stay just far enough ahead to make you question yourself. That's how men waste months, sometimes years, playing detective in their own homes, slowly unraveling while she keeps spinning the web. Think of it like chasing smoke. The harder you grab, the faster it slips through your fingers. And while you're choking on the haze, she's calmly watching you suffocate. That's the trap. You don't just fail to catch her. You make yourself look like the unstable one. And let me hit you with something that stings. The moment you look unstable, you lose power. Women don't respect a man who begs for proof. They don't admire a man who snoops, checks, and obsesses. They might tolerate it for a while, but inside they're laughing. And once respect erodes, love isn't far behind. That's why common strategies fail. Not because they don't sometimes reveal cracks, but because by the time you've gone down that road, you've already lost your frame as a man. And that's the shift you need to see. If you want the truth, you can't keep chasing smoke. You need fire, the smarter perspective. Here's where everything, the smarter perspective, changes. Up until now, you've probably been told that the only way to catch a keter is through relentless observation. Track her movements, watch her phone, analyze her tone of voice. But let's be real, that method doesn't make you stronger. It makes you smaller. It turns you from a man into a detective in your own relationship. And no man with dignity and self-respect should live like that. So, here's the smarter perspective. Stop chasing her actions and start testing her values. Why? Because actions can be hidden, rehearsed, or deleted. But values come from deep inside. They're harder to fake, harder to polish, and nearly impossible to keep consistent under pressure. A woman can cover up her tracks in text messages. She can rehearse an alibi with her friends. She can even steady her breathing when you confront her face to face. But what she cannot do is bend her entire value system on the spot without revealing cracks. Think about it like this. A practiced liar can sell you a story about where she was last night. But the moment you shift the conversation away from details and into principles, suddenly the ground beneath her gets shaky. If her words and her core values don't align, it shows. You'll hear hesitation. You'll see vagueness. She'll stall, redirect, or even laugh it off. That's where the truth slips out. And let's be honest, if you ask a woman why she loves you, she'll have a dozen sweet answers rehearsed. But if you ask her what a woman should never do to a man she claims to love, that's where things get interesting. This is the smarter perspective. You're not interrogating her behavior. You're revealing her philosophy. And a person's philosophy always bleeds through when the pressure is on. See, most men waste years chasing proof. They think if I just find one text, one receipt, one slip-up, I'll finally know. But here's the ugly reality. You might never find that smoking gun. Women who cheat know how to cover their tracks. By the time you get evidence, you've already lost years of your life to suspicion. But when you turn the frame onto values, everything flips. You stop being the man begging for scraps of truth, and you become the man demanding alignment with principles. And that's powerful. That's when you go from chasing smoke to striking the match yourself. Now here's why this matters. When you shift from actions to values, you regain control. You're no longer stuck in the endless cycle of snooping and doubting. You're standing firm, watching how she answers, how she carries herself, how consistent she is with what she claims to believe. That's where the cracks reveal themselves. Not in her phone, not in her excuses, but in her inability to match her story to her soul. And once you see those cracks, you'll never look at her or any woman the same way again. So, here's the question you've been waiting for. The only question that no woman can dodge without revealing who she really is. But before I give it to you, let me remind you this isn't about a clever trick. It's about reclaiming your control, your peace of mind, and your dignity as Amen. Because the moment you ask this question, there's no going back. Are you the question revealed? There's a hidden language that women speak without words. A subtle code embedded in every gesture, every touch. The kind of language only a few men ever learn to read. And today you're about to become one of them. Because there's one thing, one almost imperceptible reaction that can reveal whether she's secretly drawn to you. By the end of this video, you'll understand the signals so clearly that you'll start noticing them everywhere. Cafes, offices, even casual encounters. And trust me, missing them could mean letting opportunities slip right through your fingers. Yes, opportunities, not pizza delivery. But don't worry, I'll make it fun along the way. These aren't random acts. Every tiny reaction is rooted in psychology. Subconscious signals that your brain interprets long before your conscious mind even notices. Scientists call this nonverbal communication, body language. The way a woman responds when you touch her, even lightly, can reveal attraction before she even says a word. And here's the fascinating part. Most men completely miss it. But you, by understanding these signs, you step into a world where subtle touches speak louder than words. Point 1. The shoulder or arm brush. When you lightly touch her arm or shoulder, pay close attention to her reaction. Does she instinctively brush it? Not away dismissively, but in a way that lingers just a fraction longer than necessary. Maybe her hand drifts subtly closer to yours, or she lets the contact remain a heartbeat longer than expected. These tiny, almost imperceptible gestures are easy to miss, yet they speak volumes. Psychology explains this as more than a casual reflex. Gentle touch and proximity trigger oxytocin, the bonding hormone. By allowing the touch to linger, she's subconsciously rewarding closeness, signaling comfort and openness, even if she doesn't say a word. Why it matters? This subtle reaction is a quiet invitation. It's her way of saying she feels safe, intrigued, and potentially secretly attracted to you. Miss it and you miss the signal. But don't relax just yet. The next sign is far sneakier, and most men completely misread it. Point 2, the subtle lean-in. Notice her body when you're talking. Does she lean in slightly when you touch her, even just a fraction? Maybe her torso angles subtly toward you, her head tilts, or her eyes linger longer than usual. These tiny movements are easy to miss, but reveal a lot about her interest. Psychologically, leaning in eyes approach behavior. It reduces physical distance and signals attraction unconsciously. Her brain is telling her body to get closer, even if she isn't aware of it. Why it matters. This slight lean creates intimacy and signals that she's not only comfortable but also intrigued. It's an unspoken invitation to connect on a deeper level. And if you think that's subtle, wait until you notice the next reaction. It's even sneakier. Point 3, hair or neck touch. After you touch her, does she casually touch her hair or neck? Maybe she brushes a strand behind her ear or smooths her hair. It's not nervous fidgeting. It's an unconscious sign of attraction, drawing attention to features she wants you to notice. Biologically, these gestures expose vulnerability while enhancing traits perceived as attractive. Women often do this subconsciously when they feel drawn to someone. Why it matters. She's subtly signaling interest, making herself more noticeable and hinting at a connection you might not hear in words. But here's a kicker. The next sign most men completely overlook, and it's the most telling of all. Point 4, mirroring your movements. Watch if she starts subtly mirroring you. She sips her drink when you do, tilts her head the same way, or matches your posture after you touch her. These tiny imitations happen unconsciously and reveal her subconscious connection to you. Psychologists call this the chameleon effect. Mirroring occurs when someone feels rapport and attraction. Her body is aligning with yours, signaling interest and comfort without her even realizing it. Why it matters. When she mirrors you, she's showing alignment and connection on a subconscious level. It's not just comfort, it's a silent message that she wants to be in sync with you. And now, the final sign. It's the most revealing of all, and most men completely miss it. Point 5. The lingering gaze. After you touch her, notice if her eyes hold yours a little longer than usual. Maybe her pupils dilate or she blinks slowly. Even a fraction of extra attention can be incredibly telling. Eye contact triggers dopamine and heightens emotional connection. Her gaze is more than curiosity. It's a physiological response to attraction. The longer she holds it, the stronger her subconscious signal. Eyes are the gateway to desire. A lingering gaze combined with touch is a clear, though silent indication that she's interested, possibly far more than you realize. Combine this with the other signs, and you have a pattern you can't ignore. A silent confession she hasn't spoken aloud. Remember, no single gesture guarantees attraction. But when you start recognizing these patterns together, the brush, the lean in, hair touches, mirroring, and lingering gaze, you unlock a hidden language that most men never even knew existed. And with great awareness comes responsibility. The power of a man isn't in exploiting these signals, but in interpreting them with respect, patience, and integrity. If you found this eye-opening, give this video a like. Share your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe for more insights into the psychology of attraction. Turn on notifications because the next video might just change the way you see every interaction forever.